Rashida Tlaib has been officially censured by the House for her anti-Semitic comments, rolling out a video accusing Israel of genocide and saying, including a tape of "From the River to the Sea, Palestine will be free," which is a call for the eradication of Israel. Then she said it was really aspirational. It's more about peace. So it's not, and that was rejected, and she's been censured, with a lot of Democrats crossing over the line to say the same about her. Meantime, you get all these think pieces now, Dave, on, well, is that anti-Semitic? From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Is anti-Zionism, anti-Semitism, are like all these deep thoughts about like, I'm not sure what we're seeing in the streets is anti-Semitism when they're tearing down the pictures of the missing Jewish babies. I don't remember any of this nuance post George Floyd.
No, it's amazing. I'll have a column at Fox on Friday that's specifically about this, but it's stunning. For 20 years, the left has been telling us that racism and sexism and transphobia have absolutely nothing to do with intent. It doesn't matter what your motivation is. We've basically erased words from the English language, right? We've erased the word mother. We're told you're not supposed to use the term "you guys," right? Because it's sexist, not because your intent is to be sexist, but because it upholds these, negative stereotypes or whatever it is. Now, suddenly it comes to Jews and the rules completely reverse themselves. And you can say whatever you want. And the message to Jewish people is, hey, don't be so sensitive, right? What happened to the left telling us if a group says this is offensive to me, then you have to respect that, right? If a Black person or a gay person or an Eskimo says, we don't like that term, we don't like what you're doing, we find it offensive, the left says, hey, you need to knock it off. Not for Jews, not for Jews. And it's disgusting. It is anti-Semitism, and it needs to be called out everywhere.
Intent doesn't matter. They told us that for years now. And I know this caught the attention of both of you, but so-called Central Park Karen, which is not a nice name, Amy Cooper is her name. You guys remember she had this confrontation with this very aggressive, rather cruel bird watcher in Central Park. And he was pissed off. Her dog was there without a leash and said he was going to hurt it. He was going to do what he wanted. He said, you can do what you want, but then I'm going to do what I want, and you're not going to like it. And she said she felt threatened. She called 911. She mentioned his race. Her life blew up. Here is the original video in SOT 26.
There is an African-American man. I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
She just dropped a piece in Newsweek, which is heartbreaking, Stu. Her life has been ruined. She lost her job. She has been completely abused. She writes, my life as I knew it was over. All of her personal information was released online. Hundreds of threatening graphic images, death threats, hate mail, continues to this day. Employer fired me without even talking to me, blacklisted my career. 3 years later, I am still in hiding. I am scared to be in public. I still can't get a job that meets my qualifications. And there have been long stretches of unemployment, all leading to thoughts of self-harm. My family has suffered enormously. I care for one of my parents who has a terminal illness. I want them to know I'll be okay, but I do not know if I ever will be. She tried to connect with a guy. He wouldn't speak to her. He turned out to be a nasty guy. He really did. He was nasty. And her life has been ruined over this one incident where we now know, thanks to Camille Foster and his reporting over our pal from the Fifth Column, that this story was much more complex. This guy had been in the face of other dog walkers in the Bramble and had threatened them. Like he had a proven record of aggression towards people like Amy Cooper. But that's not the story it's nuanced people wanted to tell.
Yeah, I'm so glad we got to talk about this. It's criminal what happened to her. It really is. Kamel was on with Barry Weiss. They did a podcast on this a couple of years ago, and I encourage anyone to go back and listen to it. It's an incredible hour. It's this journey to go through the story, because when I saw the video, I thought she kind of looked insane and maybe racist too. And the way it was reported, there was no nuance to it at all. We found out later all the things that you point out, that she was threatened. She was a previous victim of sexual violence, alone in a park, being threatened that it was confirmed by the guy. The guy said he threatened her. Another African-American gentleman said that he had been threatened by the same guy in the same circumstance in that park, and had two other people that he knew that had also been threatened, but they were afraid to come forward because they were white and they were afraid they'd be Amy Coopered. This is a travesty and a real failure of our society to not write these things for these people. Maybe you can understand getting it wrong initially, but why can't we come back and make these things right? This woman's life has been destroyed. They took her dog. They took her livelihood. They took everything from her. She's living in hiding over this. It's completely unacceptable. And if we actually had journalists out there that would come out in the mainstream and just say, hey, wait a minute, look, we got this one wrong. We're sorry about it. Here's the truth. But that never seems to happen.
I'm so sad. I asked my team, what does she do for a living? I'll give her a job, but it's something to do with insurance, which isn't really up my alley. I'm so sad for her. I hate what we did to her as a society, not the three of us sitting here. And it's wrong. It's like she's owed an apology, and she certainly owed a re-entry into the society, the country, the area of her birth without this kind of horrible scorn. And that term Karen should be retired. It's a slur, and it's ruinous. Joy Reid, looking at you. It's horrible. Last thought on it, Dave?
Yeah, well, I mean, slurs are okay as long as they're directed at the oppressors. Slurs are wrong if they're addressed at the oppressed. And that brings us right back to the fact that all of these crazy lefties view Israel as the oppressor. And so they'll say whatever they want about Jews, and they don't consider it to be bigotry. They consider it to be speaking truth to power. It's disgusting.
My God. Think about it. Jews are 2% of the population in America, 2%. They're trying to treat them like they run the whole country, which itself is an anti-Semitic thought. Finding an honest doctor that is not following in the footsteps of Big Pharma can feel impossible. That's why millions of men and women have turned to one Texas doctor and the 7 reasons he says anyone over the age of 50 should be drinking this one thing. It's not milk or another calcium-rich drink. It is a unique protein that naturally declines with age and can significantly increase bone strength and soothe joint pain. He says it can minimize wrinkles and cellulite, enhance hair follicle thickness, and can even reverse nail damage, with users reporting results in as little as 2 weeks. This Texas doctor is offering Megyn Kelly viewers up to 45% off his bone, joint, and ligament restoring formula at nativepath.sale/MK. nativepath.sale/MK. It has thousands of 5-star reviews and over 4 million jars sold. People are into this thing. Every order comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk to try it today. Megyn Kelly viewers can visit nativepath.sale/MK to get up to 45% off while supplies last. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.